that run this industry that say, look, times are changing. We are not making as much money as we once did. This is not the golden era of television, although some of us would argue the shows are great. What do you say to them?
So I'd point out the fact that David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, which is, the parent company of the network I'm talking to you on right now, was paid $250 million last year, $250 million. That's about the same level as what 10,000 writers are asking him to pay all of us collectively, all right? So I would say if you're being paid $250 million, Ted Sarandos made about $50 million last year. These companies are making enormous amounts of money. Their profits are going up. It's ridiculous for them to plead poverty when the writers who are making their shows, some of them are not able to pay their rent or their mortgages. I literally know writers who have had to go on assistance because they have not been able to make their year. If you look at these companies, they're making more money than ever. It's the people who make the shows for them that are making less.
Adam Conover, thank you so much for coming on because you ruined everything. You may have just ruined my career, but I don't mind. Appreciate you coming on.
She don't mind. Adam Conover there, of course, Adam ruins everything, talking about the exorbitant pay of CEOs, specifically like the parent company for CNN versus the way these writers, which I assume many people would look up and say, they're writers. They've wrote for big time movies and shows. They're fine. Not always, you guys. So he's pointing out the degree to which these things are actually needed based off of how much money is being brought in and given, again, like any other corporation, to the highest folks and executives involved, and everyone else kind of gets the trickle effect, a drip effect, if you would. He teamed up with one Hassan Piker. Maybe you guys have heard of him before, especially over here at TYT. They were out in the streets yesterday, joining the picket lines and also helping disrupt some things. They even changed locations after they were in that first location there and went over to a Marvel shoot, Wonder Man, which I didn't know that was in production there. From the sounds of it, maybe they shouldn't shoot it. But what was discovered is if they show up these types of things, they can shut them down if there's only 2 protesters there, which I didn't know. Let's watch more of what they were doing.
Anyone want to help shut down a Marvel production in Hollywood? I'm a Miss Ellie's in Hollywood.
Yeah, Caroline.
We got tipped up by the
We're going to go shut down a Marvel shoot.
We need to cover 3 to 4.
So did they tell you what this is?
Can you tell us?
Our understanding is it's a Marvel Disney Plus show called Wonder Man, and they're doing pickup shooting. That's our understanding. When we got here, there was a lot of concerned faces and phone calls and conversations. So.
Because you do feel bad because there's people who are just doing their jobs in there.
Yeah.
Who are like, someone else is going to scream at them. But at the same time, if we shut this shoot down, the Disney is going to lose a couple $100,000 on this location rental, on all this equipment.
You got a whole bunch of different things that need to come in for the set to work properly, and the entire point of this is to stop that from happening.
And stop it from happening, they did, Francesca. And as you saw, as the front end of that clip there, Hassan said, "Get in, Caroline. We're gonna go shut down a Marvel shoot." It gives us vibes of this particular, I think this should be spread far and wide, you guys. There's Hassan, there's Adam. I forget that character's name from Mean Girls. But get in, loser, we're shutting down a Marvel shoot, which again, they did. And he also bought $500 worth of pizza for the strikers there as well. Generous guy, that Hassan Piker. He's always off the streets.
Look at that guy. Never heard of that guy. That guy wearing his Democracy Now hat. Obviously love Haas and love Adam. I mean, he is such an incredible figurehead for this strike right now, and him breaking it down so succinctly on CNN is important and critical. Look, it's so funny that the questions that she asked, because even she's reaching for questions. It's so obvious that the writers deserve a pay raise, deserve all the things they're asking for, a stop or a halt on AI, residuals on streaming, which is so bonkers that they don't receive them, a change to these mini rooms and all that stuff. But it's like, it is a golden age of streaming. People, how many streaming services do you subscribe to? Definitely like 2+, right? Mm-hmm. Which is probably a streaming service. It's so ridiculous for them to say they can't shell it out because they can. And by the way, you're gonna cost them way more than a couple $100,000 by shutting down that Marvel shoot. You're gonna cost them like $100,000 what it takes to set up, it'll be millions of dollars, and that's great. And the fact that the Teamsters can't cross a picket line if the WGA protesters are there is amazing. Teamsters, again, driving the trucks, hauling all the equipment in. So Yay, solidarity forever. Let's go.
I'm so glad you're here for this one because we talked about it earlier in the week, but I don't know if you have a closer or more like a well-rounded discussion of how this whole thing could potentially, and if this is the best approach. You're a writer, you're a comedian, you know the game to a degree. So like just that being, if people are concerned, this could be a year in the making, but stuff like this, I think you can maybe shut it down a little bit sooner. Maybe it has to go in a higher gear.
Yeah, it's scary, but if they don't take this stand now, and if they don't get solidarity, it'll be a lot scarier in the future. So hats off and shout out to all the writers and friends and comedians I know who are on the picket line.
Yeah, and if you think that these execs and corporate studios care about these folks, and when the time is needed for them to be without them, you're fooling yourself. So